First sig test topic for BC Calculus is derivative rules. So you got to make sure you know all of your derivative rules. Make sure you know product rule, chain rule, quotient rule. So they're all kind of represented here. Now, one thing I forgot to do on my sample questions was label these. So I'm going to call this one g of x. And this one I'm going to call this one is h of x, just so we know which one is which as we're working through the problems. Okay, on this first example, classic chain rule problem. Real basic one, got to know how to do these, very common. So remember, the outside function is the square. So when I take the derivative, I get 2 times the inside function, which is sine of 2x plus 1. Then I got to multiply it by the derivative of the inside, which is cosine of 2x plus 1. But there's one more inside afterwards, and that's the derivative of 2x plus 1, which is 2. You should simplify it, make it 4 sine 2x plus 1 cosine 2x plus 1. You could potentially see this as 2 times sine of 4x plus 2, if you remember the double angle formulas for sine and cosine. So just kind of be aware of it just for multiple choice answers. I would at least expect you to write this final answer, combining the 2 times 2 as a standard simplification. You should at least do that part of it. Okay, for problem B, this is a product rule. And it's product and chain rule, but the chain rule on e to the 3x is very basic. So when you take the derivative of e to the 3x, you got to do e to the 3x times 3, then times the second. So it's derivative of the first times the second, plus derivative of tangent is secant squared, but again I got that 2x on the inside, so I'm going to multiply by 2, times the first, which is e to the 3x. Now when you're working with e, it's really common that the e to the 3x will get factored out, so you might see the answer in this format. Okay, h of x is a standard quotient rule. So remember, derivative of natural log is 1 over x. So I'm going to do 1 over x times the bottom, which is 2 cosine 3x. Then minus the derivative of the bottom, which would be negative 2 sine of 3x times 3. So I get negative 6 sine of 3x. Then times natural log of x. So that's where that initially comes out as. Some simplification should be done. Multiply top and bottom by x to get rid of the extra fraction. Change that minus negative to a plus. When I multiply by x, I get 2 cosine 3x plus, because minus negative, 6x sine of 3x ln of x. Then when you square this term right here, I get 4 cosine squared of 3x. Notice I did not square the 3x on the inside of the cosine. And then, of course, I multiplied top and bottom by x to get the x here. So most likely you would see the answer in the form of this final one right here. So just kind of watching those rules, and just got to study and make sure you know how to work with them. Just practice them more and more if you have trouble with them.